Tic-tac-toe will not be seen tonight as the Penguins take on the Buffalo Sabres in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Next on TV 53.
The Pittsburgh Penguins play power hockey. That's the name of the game. The name of the game is power hockey.
From Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo, New York, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Buffalo Sabres. Penguin hockey is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. And by Dollar Savings Bank, who says switch to Dollar Drafts and check out of ordinary free checking. And by Winkies, with 40 restaurants making people happy to be hungry. And by the Pepsi-Cola Company, who invite you to have a Pepsi Day.
Hello there, everybody. A beautiful night for hockey here in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs and round 1 of this get-together. You know, with a separated shoulder, a broken leg, a couple of cheekbones broken, heavens knows how many hundreds of stitches in the jaws and the ears and the faces of these hockey players. They're all set to go, and as old Mary Edgerly used to say at the age of 93, we're here, aren't we? And you know, Jim Forney, that's what it's all about.
Indeed, and all season long we kept saying the Penguins can get it together and be there. Here they are, against a team with amazing similarities. They're really not surprising at all that 8 of the last 14 games ended in ties. They are similar in almost every respect. The biggest difference will be the offense from the defense, and that's where Pittsburgh has the edge. The big factor, though, in favor of Buffalo is Pittsburgh cannot afford to lose one more player, Bob. An injury would be disastrous to Pittsburgh.
And Terry, Jim, speaking about the ties, of course, we know tonight there can be no ties. We keep going until somebody gets the edge.
Well, that's for sure, because 14 games we haven't lost to them, but like they say, you can take all those records and throw them out the window. What I think it's going to boil down to tonight is the fact that Denny Herron has played very well the last month. He's coming in playing his best hockey, and Buffalo's going with a rookie goaltender, Bob Sauvé, who'll be playing in his first Stanley Cup playoff game, and he has to be a very nervous young man down there.
No question about that. Now, between the first and second period, we're going to have Paul Martha with us. We're going to be talking a lot about everything in hockey with the Penguins, not only now, but for next year. Then we're going to do one other thing. The Mahavlich brothers will be here, along with their daddy, at the end of the second period, and then on the ice afterwards, Jim and Terry and I will pick a fella that'll be selected as the Stanley Cup Game #1 Capel Star to be down on the ice with us to be interviewed. So let's get ready for the hockey match to follow right after this.
Whatever the reason. In Buffalo, New York, Jim Forney and Terry Schiffauer with you. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The first time ever these two teams have met in Stanley Cup playoff competition. Not the first time, indeed, these two teams have played. The last 14 times, the Penguins have come away without defeat. But, Terry, as you mentioned at the top, it's a brand new season now. The second season begins tonight. The only surprise prior to the game is the selection of Bob Sauvé to start in goal for Buffalo. Don Edwards, their #1 goalkeeper, did not play well the last 3 games, giving up 14 goals in the last 3 games. That might be a factor, Terry.
Well, I think it's kind of a tough place that they're putting Bob Sauvé in, because your first game, and of course in this best of 3 series, if you lose that first game, you're up against the wall so badly, especially if you lose it at home, because now you've got to go back, in our case, back into Pittsburgh Thursday night, and you're going into enemy territory. So he really has to come up big for the Sabres, or it could be a very short series for them. Of course, they have a little bit of experience. The last 3 years, they've won their preliminary round. First night First in '76, they beat St. Louis 2-1, winning 2 overtime games here in Buffalo. Then they beat Minnesota 2 straight. Last year, they beat the Rangers 2-1, but they've lost their quarterfinal rounds to the Islanders in the last 2 years in Philadelphia last year. And we stand by now for our national anthem.
True patriot love in all thy son's command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. And stand on guard, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, glorious and free. We stand on guard, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, the excitement in the Memorial Auditorium here in Buffalo, as you can well imagine, Stanley Cup playoff action, and you could cut it with a knife. The officials tonight, the referee, Dave Newell, linesman Leon Stickle, and Ray Scapanello. Denny Herron starting in goal for the Penguins. Season goals against average 3.37, but more importantly, the last 12 games for Denny Herron, well under 3 goals a game. There's Bob Sauvé, goals against over the season 3.73. Coach Inglis of Buffalo starting the Don Luce line, and Johnny Wilson of Pittsburgh. Captain Horace Kinderchuk starting a line for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup preliminary round of the playoffs. Best of 3 game series. The winner advances to quarterfinal play. Opening faceoff, mark it down, controlled by Pittsburgh. Every faceoff so important tonight. Every pass, every shift, every move in the corner. Circling out of the corner, Mike Boland on defense for Buffalo. He's there with Korab. Korab around the boards on the left wing for Ramsey. Taken away by Rick Keogh. Keogh hit hard in the corner by Korab. Around to the right wing for Rick Sealing. Sealing breaks at the center, but right there is Ross Lansbury for Pittsburgh. And look at Buffalo. They're coming out trapping. 3 men at the Pittsburgh line, but the Penguins get away with it. Now Korab, open right wing, and it's to Randy Carlyle for the Penguins. Lansbury works it across the line, centers in front. Ramsey, interception, comes back for Buffalo. Ramsey nailed at the line by Randy Carlyle. Ramsey tripped over a stick, a broken stick on the ice, and Carlyle comes out for Pittsburgh. At the red line, long shot. Sauvé waves at it as it goes by. Line change for Buffalo. The payroll line. That'll have Jacques Richard and Danny Gare. And here comes Perreault, ever dangerous, not giving skating room to Sealing. Now to Jacques Richard. Richard had a hat trick in the last game for the Buffalo Sabres. He's on a hot streak. And Buffalo called on the offside. So a minute, 19 seconds of continuous action, Terry, and the first whistle of the game.
Well, Gilbert Perreault on the year had 27 goals, 58 assists for 85 points. Once again, the Sabres' leading scorer in the 4 games against the Penguins. He had only 8 shots on goal and connected twice. 2 goals, and of course, lifetime, he has scored 24 goals in 46 games against the Penguins. Scored in his very first game in Pittsburgh back in 1970.
Never forget it. 2-0 final Buffalo. Schoenfeld for the Sabres on defense. Dribbles the shot across the line. Colin Campbell works it on the right wing boards. He's checked by Danny Gare, then hit by Richard, but the puck worked into the Buffalo zone by Campbell. Now Schoenfeld. He's on defense with Bill Stewart of Buffalo. Here's Greg Shepard intercepting a clearing pass. Shoots it behind. The Buffalo goal. Sauvé sweeps it on the right wing. Breaking out, Danny Gare. To Gilles Perreault. Perreault wheeling across the line to the corner. Centers, and Jacques Richard fanned as he was checked by Campbell. Long pass. Shepard to the right wing for Peter Lee. Over his stick, and icing will be called. Well, a good check on Jacques Richard, but the fans in Buffalo, you hear the boos, thinking perhaps a penalty should have been called.
Well, they're going to try and intimidate referee Dave Newell every time they get a chance tonight. Anytime a Sabre is touched, they're going to call for the penalty, try and get that power play unit out there. Here's Perreault wheeling and dealing, coming in over, and Campbell will later on just give Jacques Richard a little rub. Nothing serious.
Back to the live action. Shot on goal right on the face-off, but blocked in front. Here's a steal by Robert. A shot right on. Oh, what a save. Denny Herron robbed. Andre Savard on the rebound. In across the line, and now penalties will be called. Robert and Carlisle got to slashing. Let's watch it as the playoff jitters are now over for both teams, Terry. That's all you need. A little bit of hitting up front, and everybody now in the game. Peeling off, Randy Carlisle will go, also one of the Buffalo players, but a break in the action, no score from the odd in Buffalo. This is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff hockey.
Bear, who led the charge of the Light Brigade back in Pittsburgh in the bench clearing, he and Randy Carlisle both going off for slashing. You'll see him there at the top right of your screen. There's the first save. Denny Herron makes a big save. Robert coming in for the rebound. They get the sticks up. Now back to live action.
Vogelin for Buffalo. Almost had Savard, who Denny Herron robbed. And I'll tell you, goaltending, as we said all season long, Terry, playoff action, goaltending the key, but you know darn well that the goaltenders are going to be ready for playoff action, and Denny Herron proved it there, robbing Robert and Savard.
Plus, the goaltenders like to make that real big save early in the game so they know that they're part of it. Denny's been waiting around for 48 hours, walking the lobbies today, but he's ready now.
Done loose against Malone line. Here's Luce shooting it behind the Pittsburgh goal. Colin Campbell with it for the Penguins. No score early in the game. Each team playing 4 aside right now, as we have the penalties. Into the Buffalo zone, Ferguson trying to put it in front. The pass went behind the net, gathered in by Jerry Korab. He just cleared the center. Campbell battling the bouncing puck, turning away from Dunn Luce. Now Ramsey challenges. Campbell peels away from Ramsey, drops it back. Now it's Ferguson. George Ferguson slowly to center to Campbell. Campbell bouncing it in right side of the Buffalo goal. Back for it. Buffalo's Mike Bolin. Now to Ramsey left wing. Off the boards for Bolin. Too far at center for Ramsey. Ron Stackhouse for the Penguins. Play a bit ragged as both teams are playing a man short. Robert and Carlisle each 2 minutes for slashing at 2:23. Those were the penalties. Jerry Korab, highest scoring defenseman for the Buffalo Sabres, and really the only offensive threat on defense for Buffalo, to Perreault. Perreault and Danny Gare, the 2 forwards, but forechecking Kinderchuk. Now Lansbury. Danny Gare just shooting it to the corner. Ron Stackhouse giving chase, touching up. No icing called. It might have been Campbell trying to work it out. Schoenfeld at the point. Holding it onside. There's a centering pass for Danny Gare. Oh, and a great check by Lunsberry. Tied him up. And Stackhouse has it in control for the Penguins. Campbell to Lunsberry. KG veteran looking for help. Gets it from Stackhouse. Stackhouse looking carefully. Then gives it to Campbell. Now to Carlisle. As the penalties have expired, back to full and equal strength, both Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Schoenfeld shooting it to the corner. Schutt has his man covered at the point. Fogelin. Fogelin fired. Stick save by Denny Herron. Penguins fail to clear. Schoenfeld fired one high over the crossbar. Rod Schutt in the corner, jammed up by Danny Gare. Now Carlisle ties up Gare. Battle for control of the puck along the backboards. Dug out by Kinderchuk. Kinderchuk. He's checked by Danny Gare. Now Fogelin. Fed it back into the corner. Play is called for a face-off left side of Denny Herron. But the tempo incredible. From the odd in Buffalo, New York. This is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff hockey.
Johnny Wilson behind the Penguin bench, giving a few words of encouragement.
First time tonight, the Savard line for Buffalo against the Shepherd line. So we'll see Rick Martin, the high-scoring left winger, 32 goals this season. Not one of his better years. Twice a 52-goal scorer. Buffalo shooting the puck deep into the Pittsburgh zone. Randy Carlisle touching up, and the play will be back in the Buffalo end.
Both teams are playing it very cautious. Nobody wants to make a mistake to let that other team have that all-important first goal. The passes are just short and sweet. Drop it back, reform. Buffalo has had two good chances to score, and Schoenfeld just let a high shot go a little bit ago. And the shots so far, the Sabres have 4. The Pens are looking for their first shot.
Johnny Wilson going with 3 lines and 4 defensemen. At the point, Bladen. Oh, he really fired that one. Robert gathers in the rebound. Has Rick Martin scooting on the left wing. Rick Martin takes a pass off the backboard, tried to center. Rod Schutt had him checked and deflected the centering pass. Buffalo in their own end. Out of center to Rick Martin. Open right side. Here's Rene Robert breaking in. Centers for Savard. Oh, what a save by Denny Herron. Denny Herron robbing Savard. Brilliant save twice now. Savard shaking his head in disbelief as Denny Herron twice has robbed Andre Savard. Unbelievable save.
And now they have to start thinking a little bit about the jinx. They haven't beaten Herron in a Pittsburgh uniform in 10 games. Here's Robert coming in. Savard on the far side. He knows Herron's going to come to greet him. Tries to go on the far side. And Herron just gets a pad and a glove on it and knocks it away. And Randy Carlisle comes and pulls it away from trouble. But a 5-bell save for Denny Herron on that play.
Face-off left side of Denny Herron. Malone and Luce. Luce centered a pass. A soft bouncing shot by Rick Sealing. Now Malone on the right wing for Ferguson. Went through him. Ramsey fired a long shot. Rick Sealing working in the corner against McAdam. Gets the puck behind the net. Campbell is there. Skidded off the puck. Sealing trying to center. Comes in front, but Stackhouse clears. A race for the puck. Catching up to it is McAdam, and his shot missed on the short side. There you saw the speed of McAdam. Stackhouse holding it onside at the point. Into the corner. Greg Ramsey is there for Buffalo. Ramsey turning away from Ferguson. Ferguson catches up to him and hits him off the puck. Malone has it to Stackhouse. A shot wide. Puck to Rick Sealing. Sealing and Luce in across the Pittsburgh line. Sealing trying to wheel through the defense. And a penalty's going to be called. And we'll watch the Buffalo power play. Well, it wasn't the best of penalties indeed, but Campbell is going to the penalty box for tripping. From the odd in Buffalo, New York, this is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff hockey.
Take a look at the penalty. Colin Campbell on your left, number 6. And he gets the stick in there and pulls down Rick Sealing. So it's a pretty good call. Tripping against Campbell at 6:54, the first power play chance of the evening for either team.
Kinderchuk and Shepard, the penalty killers for Pittsburgh. Payroll, Kinderchuk, and Kinderchuk wins the draw to Carlisle. And Randy fires it up ice, so the pressure off for the moment as Buffalo, first time in playoff hockey against Pittsburgh, shows the power play. Schoenfeld starting it out left side to Perreault. The pass didn't quite connect. Bladen and Perreault jam up, and icing call on Buffalo as Bladen won the race for the puck against Perreault. Power play percentage for Buffalo, 20.6. Power play percentage for Pittsburgh, 21.5. Penalty killing percentage for Pittsburgh, 77.2. Respectable credentials by both teams, and both teams very, very similar. As I mentioned before, the big difference between the two clubs, barring injuries, the offense from the defense of Pittsburgh. That's the biggest difference. Perreault and Kinderchuk face off, controlled by Buffalo. Danny Gare to Rene Robert, back to Gare. Danny Gare, captain of the Buffalo Sabres, now to Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld to Danny Gare on the right wing. Lonsberry and Kinderchuk, the penalty killers now. Here's Perreault, wheeling through center, leaving it to Danny Gare across the line. Danny Gare looking for the shot. Hard save by Denny Herron. Perreault behind the net, in the corner for Danny Gare. Looking for someone open in front. It's Robert at the point to Danny Gare, and Carlisle challenges. Now Perreault behind the net, puts it right in front, and Denny Herron holds them off on the short side. Pittsburgh just for a moment out of position defensively on the penalty killing, but Denny Herron looking for the centering pass, cut it off right on the short side.
Well, this is a very experienced power play that the Sabres have because, of course, Martin, Perreault, and Robert have been the French connection for a number of years. Danny Gare, their captain, has always come in there with a lot of big goals, and Jim Schoenfeld has now replaced Jerry Korat back on the point.
Perreault and Shepard. Face-off controlled by Pittsburgh. Carlisle can't clear. Robert to Rick Martin over his stick. Ron Stackhouse, poke check, gets it to Ferguson, who wheels it on the backhand up ice. 1 minute remaining on the penalty to Colin Campbell. Robert leaving it for Korat. Korat to Perreault. Perreault shifting through center. Now to Robert. Offside of the line, not called. Danny Gare fired one to the corner. Perreault trying to clear to the point. Intercepted by Ferguson. He tried to clear. Korat! Oh, he whistled a shot wide. Kept onside by Rick Martin. Now to Korat. Korat trying to put a shot in front. Knocked down by Stackhouse. Stackhouse doesn't clear. Oh, a pass by Korat right to Carlisle, who clears up ice. 14 seconds left on the penalty to Colin Campbell. Buffalo has to move quickly. Rick Dudley. He's challenged right at the line by Shepard, who took the puck right away from him. Now moving for Buffalo. Reichenbach. Reichenbach shoots it in as Campbell comes out of the penalty box. And the Penguins have skated off the power play of Buffalo. So a couple of key big moves in favor of the Penguins. Some big saves by Denny Herron. And in front, they shot by Dudley, and Denny Herron made the save. Pass out in front, cleared back to the point. In the corner, down loose in front for Ramsey, and Stackhouse ties him up, and Denny Herron grabs off the bouncing puck. Tremendous pressure from Buffalo, but the Penguins standing strong. From Buffalo, this is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff hockey.
The Pittsburgh Penguins play power hockey. That's the name of the game.
Hey, hockey fans, don't miss the Pittsburgh Penguins in the exciting National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs. Purchase your playoff tickets now, on sale at the Civic Arena, Kaufman's, and National Record Marks. Or call the Penguin Action Line with your Visa or MasterCharge at 765-3939.
Gunny Wilson knew that Buffalo was going to come out tramping and throw everything they had at the Penguins. They have done that, but Denny Herron and the penalty killers of Pittsburgh have held them off. Now let's see if the Penguins can mount an attack. Halfway through the first period of play, no score, Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Randy Carlisle looking for movement up front, but hoping for a break. Just dumped it into the Buffalo end. Schoenfeld checked off by Ferguson. Great forechecking. Now McAdams trying to dig it loose, but Ferguson does the job, Terry, tying up Buffalo in their own end.
Well, George Ferguson goes around that cage and is such a good skater that he cuts that angle real sharp, and just rides in there with that defenseman and ties him up that he can't maneuver. And once again, George Ferguson shows the reason why he was selected the unsung hero. Enjoyed his best year ever in the National Hockey League, 21 goals and 50 points.
Key to winning in Buffalo is to forecheck in the other's end, because the corners are so narrow here in Buffalo, the smallest rink in the league. Randy Carlyle flips it across the line, but it's going to be called on the offside. Faceoff will come at the red line. 10:05 remaining first period, no score. Pittsburgh and Buffalo. 3 other games going tonight. Los Angeles and New York, Vancouver and Philadelphia, Toronto in Atlanta. All games underway, no score as yet to report.
And of course, game 2 of this series will be played Thursday night back in the Civic Arena at 7:30. Plenty of tickets still available.
Kinderchuk line against the Savard line. Face-off, still up for grabs. Savard just batted it to the Pittsburgh zone. Ron Stackhouse had it poke-checked away by Savard, but Stackhouse recovers, gets it to Colin Campbell. He fails to clear. Boland, the defenseman, shoots it to the corner. Savard screened out by the referee, and face-off is going to come deep in the Pittsburgh end as the clearing pass by Stackhouse went into the crowd. It's been all Buffalo offensively so far. Shots on goal, Buffalo 8, Pittsburgh 1. But the big thing is the goalkeeping of Denny Herron. Rick Martin had time to tee it up, but then the shot was blocked by Rick Kehoe, and he felt that one, took it right on the shin. Boland for Buffalo on the backhand, leaving it for Rick Martin. Out of Savard, hit hard. Here's Rick Kehoe trying to move. Korab blocked him off. Oh, and Kinderchuk had a shot knocked off his stick. Kinderchuk in the corner, hit by Korab, and Rick Martin turns the net for Buffalo. Here comes Rick Martin. Up on the off wing, leaving it for Rene Robert, overskidded it, back at the point for Boland. Open in the corner, Savard. Savard put it right to the goal now. Back for Boland, a shot.
Picks up his first Stanley Cup goal. Penn's bouncing it around here. Not in good position now. Here comes the shot by Boland, and it looks like it just goes past Campbell and goes under Denny Herron's glove. Might have hit something. It looked like it dropped a little bit on Denny, but the Sabres take a 1-0 lead.
Face-off controlled by Buffalo. Randy Carlyle takes it away at the Pittsburgh line. Lob shot left side of Solveig, but it's going to be called back on the offside. The goal by Boland at 10:49, and Denny Herron really upset. He never saw it. Colin Campbell playing where he should have been playing, but actually he screened Denny on that shot. Denny Herron never did see it till it was too late. Face off Pittsburgh. Randy Carlyle battling the bouncing puck. Bounces again on him. Trying to break across the line, Danny Gare, but Carlyle stays with his man and clears to center. Breitenbach shoots it back into the Pittsburgh end. Taken away by Greg Shepard as Peter Lee on the right side. Lee across the line trying to move for the goal. Breitenbach checks him off. Now Rod shot hard on Richard. In front. Great score! Pittsburgh! And just like that, the Penguins come back and tie the game at 1-1. Bladen really unloaded right on the ice where you want it to be. It may have deflected in front, but I think it'll be Bladen's goal all the way.
Good pass out by Rod Shot, and here's Bladen, just winds. Good low shot right to the ice, right to the corner, and looks like maybe Shutt is there, but no, they're going to give it to Bladen. So Tommy Bladen scores the Stanley Cup goal, #1 for the Pens, and it's tied.
In across the line, Pittsburgh, but offside call on the Penguins. Game is tied 1-1 with 8:23 remaining. Terry, there's nothing better with the way Buffalo was really tramping to come right back and strap it on them and tie it up.
Well, Tommy Bladen, that's his 9th career playoff goal.
Face-off controlled by Buffalo. 1-1. The game is tied. This will be an icing call as Campbell touches up. 8:13 remaining, first period of play. Well, the first 2 goals of the game from the defense. Mike Boland for Buffalo, Tom Blayton for Pittsburgh. Less than a minute apart at 10:49. Boland scored for Buffalo, 11:32. It was Blayton to tie it at 1-1. Awaiting a face-off left side of Sauvé, loose and Malone. Face-off controlled by Buffalo. Rick Sealing breaking it to center. Campbell challenging, hangs him up at the line. The puck rolling on the board. Stackhouse trying to clear it out. Schoenfeld, a shot blocked by Stackhouse. Rick Sealing moving in behind the net for Buffalo. Back at the point for Jim Schoenfeld. He winds it up. Oh, just deflected wide by Luce. Buffalo still applying pressure. Deep into Pittsburgh end. Luce in the corner. Centers right in front. Ramsey all alone. Missed the open net. Greg Ramsey checked by Malone. And a penalty's going to be called on Malone. Malone for tripping Ramsey. And for the second time in this game, Pittsburgh will be playing a man short. From the Odd in Buffalo, New York, this is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff hockey.
You'll see Greg Malone get 2 minutes for tripping Craig Ramsey. Malone and Ramsey digging for it. And he's got the stick in there. You know, he'll go off for hooking, a little bit of diving by Ramsey. But either way, the call is made. The Sabres are on their second power play chance.
Face-off Buffalo. Korab to Robert. He fired it. Knocked down in front. Perreault with the rebound. In behind the net. Blayden's getting him off the puck. Perreault now checking Kinderchuk. Perreault digs the puck loose. Brings it out right side. In front for Rick Martin. Out of Korab at the blue line. Korab shot. Deflected in front. Loose puck and Denny Herron. Sprawled on his back. Smothers the puck beneath him.
Oh, Sabres moving around nice. Back to Korab. Good low shot, what you want from a defense. Now Martin tips it, changed directions, comes in front to Gare. Gare tries to backhand it, but Herron is already down and has it covered up.
Korab at the point. Now to Rick Martin. Perreault open in front. 2 Buffalo men. High post, low post. Now Korab to Rick Martin. In front for Perreault. Another brilliant save by Denny Herron on Perreault. Korab. Far point, Rene Robert. Buffalo, great patience. Pittsburgh staying in the defensive box. There's a shot whistled wide by Rick Martin. Perreault off of the line for Robert over his stick. And we have 1 minute remaining on the penalty to Greg Malone. Robert leading a rush for Buffalo. In across the line. Still on balance to Perreault. Perreault fired. Blocked in front by Randy Carlisle. The rebound hit the post. Rick Martin for Buffalo. Centers for Perreault. Perreault pulls to the corner. Robert moving to the goal, but Shepard had him covered. Deflected the pass to the corner. Perreault digs it loose, comes around. Perreault to the corner. Out on top. Backhand pass, point for Korab. Korab, side of the net. Carlisle knocks it away. A shot by Danny Gare. Cleared over the glass by Tom Blayden. Buffalo doing everything they can. Tremendous pressure.
Dr. Michael Feinberg.
Oh, the Sabres keep working it around, trying to get that shot, but the Pens stay in that box. There's Blayden, just flips it up out of play, goes for the faceoff. Of course, Blayden, Kinderchuk, and Linesbury have a lot of experience against playing against these Sabres because they were in the finals when they were with Philadelphia, Buffalo, Philly back in 1975.
25 seconds remaining on the penalty to Greg Malone. Twice Pittsburgh has been shorthanded here in the first period, and the shots on goal reflected. 12-2 here in the first period in favor of Buffalo. Schoenfeld at the point, moving it now to Ramsey. Ramsey back to Schoenfeld, can't reach it. Less than 10 seconds remaining, and look at Ferguson going after Schoenfeld, who unloads the puck to Robert. Robert weaving through center. Across the line as Malone comes out of the penalty box. A shot by Sealing, blocked by Campbell. And McAdam works the puck to center. Scooting across the line. Hard check from Schoenfeld on McAdam. And Fogelin with the puck behind the net for Buffalo. To Sealing. But look at McAdam come back. McAdam centers in front. Oh, Malone fired right on, but the save made. Now Ramsey for Buffalo. Across the Pittsburgh line. Holds up at the point. Backhands it behind the net. Colin Campbell knocks down Sealing. And Ferguson with the puck for Pittsburgh. High pass at center. Back to Malone. Malone gets by Schoenfeld. Malone left the puck in the corner. Gathered in by Ramsey. Ramsey dumps it to center. Randy Carlyle to Stackhouse. Stackhouse back to Carlyle. 4:30 remaining, first period of play. The game is tied at 1-1. Now Kinderchuk for Pittsburgh. Got to hold up at the line and poked away, and Savard has it, but Rick Keogh comes back. Back checking Rick Keogh. Breitenbach on defense for Buffalo. Shoots it deep into the Pittsburgh zone. Carlyle lead pass almost onside for Kinderchuk. So they has to play it. In the corner, Rick Keogh jams up with Breitenbach. Gets it across for Kinderchuk. Kinderchuk looking for skating room. Hung up on the boards by Fogelin. Now Richard jams up, and play called for a face-off right side of Bob Sauvé in the Buffalo goal.
Well, Pens are doing an excellent job of forechecking, going into that Buffalo end, going into the corners, and tying things up. There's timeout on the ice. We'll be back with more Penguin playoff hockey right after this.
Dollard. The Savard line against the Shepherd line for Pittsburgh, and this is only the second time this period the Shepherd line has been out there intact because of all the penalty-killing duties for Pittsburgh. Shepherd involved in that. Korab for Buffalo, deep in his own end, up the middle to Savard. Savard looking, has Dudley breaking on the right wing, pass knocked down by Carlyle. Bolin challenging Carlyle, and jams the puck deep into the Pittsburgh end. Tom Bladen for the Penguins. Pass thrown him by Richard, and then Bladen checks him off, and here comes Randy Carlyle. Carlyle with Lee breaking on the right side. Here's Peter Lee, fires just wide. He had Sauvé beat. Dudley coming back for Buffalo. Drop pass, hit the skate of Carlyle. Rod Shutt just clears the puck up ice, and icing will be called on the Penguins. 3:20 remaining first period. Game tied at 1-1. Shots on goal so far, Buffalo 12, Pittsburgh 2. Thanks to two power plays by the Buffalo Sabres, the Penguins have yet to enjoy the man advantage. Has been brilliant, just brilliant here in the first period against the Buffalo Sabres. Bayroll and Malone set for the faceoff. Left side of the Pittsburgh goal. The Penguins win it, and they've been winning the big faceoffs. Campbell starting it out from behind his own goal. Bayroll giving chase, but Campbell works it to the line, dumps it to the corner. Sauvé bats it away from McAdam. Now Ferguson jamming up with Rick Martin. Getting up from Malone. Malone and Rick Martin. Now Ferguson goes to work on the boards, held there by Perreault, but he gets it to McAdam to Ferguson. Ferguson, oh, the pass behind Malone at the point. Campbell fired. It just went wide. Buffalo trying to clear. Stackhouse holding on side. Centers for Malone. Malone going on the forehand, and it hit the skate and over the goal. Now it's Schoenfeld. He fails to clear. Stackhouse keeping it on side of Ferguson. The Penguins now on the attack, forechecking the Sabres. Here's McAdam. Back at the point for Campbell. Pass to the skate. Campbell in the corner. Malone held against the boards by Stewart. Malone kicks the puck loose to McAdam. McAdam with Danny Gare crawling all over him. Gets the puck to Ferguson, who clears back to Colin Campbell. The Penguins with great forechecking from this line. A quick line change by the Penguins. The Kinderchuk line as Buffalo tries to work out of their own end. Rick Martin open on the right wing. Rick Martin couldn't get by Bladen. Good defensive play by Tom Bladen, and Carlyle clears the puck to center. A minute 50 remaining first period. Breitenbach moving the puck along to Perreault, but it's over his stick, and Carlyle has it easily as Buffalo now makes a line change. Breitenbach for the Sabres. Chase deep at his own end. Circling in the corner, down loose on the boards for Ramsey. Ramsey sweeps it on the open right wing. Lonsberry right with his man, Rick Sealing, the younger brother of the former defenseman in New York, Rod Sealing. Buffalo dumps the puck to center. Fogelin checked off by Kinderchuk, and Carlisle has it to Bladen, to Lonsberry. Lonsberry leaned on by Ramsey, and Rick Sealing takes over for Buffalo. Long shot, whistles high over the goal, off the glass to Kehoe, who bats it to Bladen. Bladen looking for Lonsberry with 1 minute remaining. First period, 2-on-1, Pittsburgh. Kinderchuk, Kehoe. Here's Kehoe going for the shot. Off the glove of Sauvé. Over the glass, into the crowd, as Kehoe was aiming for the upper left-hand corner, and Sauvé waved at it just in time.
Well, here's Kinderchuk giving the pass over to Kehoe. Kehoe looks, where's Sauvé lines up. Now the defenseman goes down, but the shot is just high enough, and Sauvé gets a piece of it with his glove to deflect it out of play. 51 seconds remaining in the first period, and the score is tied 1-1. Reminder, the Pens will be home Thursday night at 7:35 for Game 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. If a third game necessary, it'll be here on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m.
And it will be televised on Channel 53 back to Pittsburgh on Saturday. 45 seconds remaining in a brilliant first period for Denny Herron. Game tied 1-1. Rick Martin for Buffalo. Leading Savard to the corner, but Denny Herron plays it perfectly on the boards. René Robert sweeps it back on the right wing board to Rick Martin. Rick Martin leaving it there. Now it's back at the point for Schoenfeld. He fired, deflected, and Denny Herron kicked at it just in time. Robert and Campbell jam up on the backboards out in front. Martin's shot is blocked by Stackhouse. Now Schoenfeld lost the puck at the line, then holds Ferguson, but Ferguson recovers, has the puck for Pittsburgh. 5 seconds remaining in the period. Stackhouse fires the puck to Campbell. Long shot into the corner as the buzzer sounds, ending the first period of play with the score. Pittsburgh 1, Buffalo 1. We'll be back with the first intermission guest, Paul Martha, talking with Bob Prince right after this timeout. After 1 period of play, Bolin for Buffalo, Bladen for Pittsburgh. Announcers on this telecast are contracted and paid for by TPC Communications, subject to the approval of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Any rebroadcast, reproductions, or other use of the descriptions of this game without the expressed written consent of the Pittsburgh Penguins is strictly prohibited.
Well, Jim, you mentioned Bolin and Bladen scoring. That would be a good answer for a trivia question. What two players scored Stanley Cup goals in 1979 and have the same letters in their last name? They each have an A, a B, a D, an O, an L, and an N. So you trivia buffs out there, mark that one down, and call the talk shows this week. See if you can stump everybody on those talk shows. There's a look at Mike Bolin. Of course, he was drafted by Kansas City, but didn't make the club there a couple years ago. Played in the International League and has been a free agent, and also has the distinction of being the brother-in-law of Sabre teammate Don Luce.
Speaking of stumping, with a trivia question for sure, Denny Herron stumped the Sabres in that first period. Only one shot got by him, and he was screened on that one. Never saw it till it was by his elbow into the net, as he stopped 11 Sabre shots. Shots on goal in that first period, 12 for Buffalo, 3 for Pittsburgh. Billy Inglis behind the Buffalo net. Quite a story on Billy Inglis, too, Terry.
Well, he played for the Sabres, I believe, a couple years ago. He was in that opening night lineup when Buffalo broke into the National Hockey League in 1970 and played their first game in the Civic Arena, beating the Pens 2-1. And, of course, their #1 draft choice that year was Gilbert Perreault. And the #2 player drafted that year is Dale Talon, who's back home watching the game tonight with a broken leg. And, of course, we'd also like to send a speedy recovery to another teammate, Mike Meeker, who's in the hospital with a back problem. The other 3 injured players, Pete Mahovlich, Russ Anderson, and Wayne Bianchin, accompanied the team up. And Pete and Frank Mahovlich will be the Gunners' guest for the second intermission.
For the second period, Denny Herron protecting the nets to our right, and Bob Sauvé protecting the nets to our left for the Buffalo Sabres. Both teams will be at full and equal strength as we begin the second period of play.
Well, they've just made a scoring correction and ruined the trivia question. They've credited the goal to Rod Schutt, playing in his first Stanley Cup playoff game. So Schutt gets the goal. Looked like he might have tipped it in, and that's how they ruled it, with Tom Bladen and Peter Lee picking up the assist.
As we begin the second period of play, Kinderchuk for the Penguins, done loose for Buffalo. Face-off center ice. Referee Dave Newell drops the puck. And playoff hockey underway once again from the odd in Buffalo. Randy Carlyle behind his own net. He played a strong first period for the Penguins. Very aggressive. Ramsey trying to poke it away, but Carlyle breaks loose with it. Right side for Keogh, looking for Lonsberry on the left wing. Swept away from him. And shot over the glass by Boland. They'll drop the puck at the Buffalo blue line. In the second period, Toronto and Atlanta still scoreless. Also second period. Look at this. Vancouver and Philadelphia. You thought for sure the Flyers would jump on Vancouver in a hurry. But they're scoreless in the second period. Nothing yet from New York, where the Rangers are playing Los Angeles. Buffalo shooting the puck deep in the Pittsburgh end. Randy Carlyle will start it out right side. Trying to slip it through for Kinderchuk. Sent back in by Buffalo offside.
Now, Jim, if fans are trying to make up their mind who they're rooting for on some of those playoff series, probably the best advice we can give you is root for all the underdogs, because if Los Angeles, Vancouver, and Toronto, and of course Pittsburgh would all win, that would give Pittsburgh the home ice in the second round of the playoffs against Toronto. So there's a lot of ifs for that second round, and the biggest one is right here tonight in Buffalo.
Rick Keogh almost batted it away from Korab, but Korab manages to shoot it into the Pittsburgh end. Carlyle on the left wing gets by Boland. Sauve setting it up behind the net for Korab. Lead pass at center for Luce has Rick Sealing almost on a break, but the pass went off his skate. Tom Bladen poke checked it away at the line. Now Lonsberry to Rick Kehoe. Kehoe trying to slip it through for Kinderchuk, does. Hooked away from him by Don Luce. Puck lying loose. And Randy Carlyle has it back for the Penguins. Just dumps it into the Buffalo zone. Schoenfeld touching up, and we'll have an icing call on the Penguins. So the first two shifts here in the second period, very cautious and very appeared to be disorganized because of the very close checking. Who was brilliant in that first period. He robbed Robert, Savard, and Danny Gare and Perreault on sure goals. But you can't rely on great goaltending to carry you through all the way. We're going to have to get some offense pretty soon. Stewart at the point. His shot hit his teammate Jacques Richard. Now Peter Lee. Lead pass for Rod Shutt. Shutt going in. And it's sucked away from him by Fogelin. Fogelin checked by Peter Lee. The puck out at center for Jacques Richard. Shooting it into the Pittsburgh end. Colin Campbell back quickly. Right wing for Peter Lee. Lee failed to clear. Schoenfeld a shot right on. Cleared out by Denny Herron. Centering pass, Perreault. Oh, and a great check by Shepard. Penguins clear the puck to center. Shepard saved what might have been a sure goal for Danny Gare. Campbell at his own line for Rod Shutt. Shutt failed to connect on the pass, so another icing call on the Penguins. (1-1). The game is tied from the odd in Buffalo, New York. This is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff hockey. The story of the game to this point, 1-1. It's tied with 17:51 remaining second period. Malone and Savard face-off controlled by Pittsburgh. McAdam trying to tip it aside for Malone. Batted away. Puck bouncing in the far corner. Tom Bladen leaving it for Randy Carlyle. Left wing now McAdam. He takes a bump from Fogelin. But Greg Malone clears to center. Sent back in by Breitenbach. Denny Herron scrambling behind the net. Clears it left wing for McAdam. Bumped by Robert, but McAdam scoots away with it. Taken away by Savard. And across the line. Blake failed to clear, but Ferguson comes back for Pittsburgh. Ferguson on a rush and across the Buffalo line. A quick shot, knee-high save by Sauve. Now Greg Malone for Pittsburgh. At the point, Blake behind the net. Out of reach to Ferguson. Now McAdam. Ferguson took a hard check from Fogelin, and then Ferguson really nails Fogelin. At the point, Carlisle fired. It's blocked by Breitenbach. Ferguson comes back for Pittsburgh. Shooting it back in the Buffalo end. But the Penguins down. riding an attack. Buffalo trying to move out. Robert had it taken away. Here's Rick Kehoe moving for the shot. Save made by Sauvé. Lansbury right in the goal mouth. Malone tipped it right on. Sauvé never saw it, but the puck stayed right at the line. Fogelin and Malone tangled up in front of the goal as Fogelin really nailed Malone.
18 inches away when it ends up. Here's Lansbury just centering it back in front. Goes off a Buffalo player and stands just 2 feet away. And Malone could not get to it. Sauvé covers up. 16:33 remaining in the second period. The Pens and Sabres tied at 1.
The last shift, though, the Penguins may have begun to mount that great barrier and grab the momentum away from Buffalo. Kinderchuk, Lansbury, Kehoe against the done loose line. Ramsey and Rick Sealing face-off controlled by Pittsburgh, but Campbell has to retreat to center ice. Lead pass through center by everybody, and this will be an icing call on Pittsburgh. That'll bring the play back deep into the Penguin end. 16:22 remaining second period. Game tied at 1-1. It's been a thriller on brilliant goaltending by Denny Herron. Goals by Bolin at 10:49 for Buffalo first period. And then Rod Schutt tipping in a blast by Tom Bladen. Buffalo controlling. Ramsey tees it up. Stick save by Denny Herron. Campbell almost skated right into the net with that one. Rick Sealing in the corner centers, but Kinderchuk is there. Bumped off by Korab. Korab leaving it for Ramsey. Ramsey behind the net trying to put it in front. Korab tied up by Stackhouse. Stackhouse and Korab get to slashing. Bumping hard on the boards. Play goes on. Done loose on the near side. In the corner for Ramsey. Back out in front for Loose. A soft bouncing shot wide of the goal. Now Sealing and Stackhouse. Puck goes to Ramsey. Tied up by Kinderchuk. Rick Sealing digs the puck loose. Gets it to Loose. Leaving it for Ramsey. Oh, it just went wide. Bolin at the near point. His shot is wide. Now Rick Kehoe taking over finally for Pittsburgh. The Buffalo, a shooting gallery on Denny Herron. At center, Bolin sends it right back in. Denny Herron makes the save. Line change for Buffalo. Penguins trying to get a line change, and here's an offside pass called on the Penguins. That would allow Johnny Wilson to get out fresh troops, but Buffalo had Pittsburgh jammed up in their own end for just a bit too long, Terry. 1-1, the game is tied. This is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff hockey. Payroll line against the Greg Shepard line. Shepard with Lee and Schutt. Face-off controlled by Buffalo. Jacques Richard swings it around the net. Now it's on the left wing for Rod Schutt. He couldn't clear. Kept onside by Richard. Randy Carlyle. Good move getting away from Danny Gare. Perfect pass to Schutt. Schutt. Good move right side Peter Lee. Here's Peter Lee centering through the slot. Jamming up in the corner. Shepard upends Perreault. But Stewart with the puck for Buffalo. Shepard forechecking Stewart. Stewart trying to move away. Does. Throws it on the open left wing to Jacques Richard. Richard back to Stewart. Stewart shoots it across the line. Carlyle looking for Schutt. Knocked down by Danny Gare. Danny Gare put it through the goal mouth. Nobody there, and it comes all the way into the Buffalo end. Good to see Peter Lee skating well. Upended there, sliding into the boards, but he's okay. Back at center, Rod Schutt coming back, taking the puck away. Long shot. Sauvé loves it, gives it to Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld to Danny Gare. Danny Gare looking left wing for Jacques Richard. Tom Bladen beat him to the puck, got it to Peter Lee. Flipping it through for Greg Shepard, bounced over his stick, and Buffalo shoots it back into the Pittsburgh end. Almost a takeaway by Perreault. Recovered by Carlyle. Now Bladen and Rick Martin in the corner, and Bladen a hard check on Rick Martin, but Perreault with the puck for Buffalo. Lays it side of the goal. Carlyle has it for Pittsburgh. Now for Peter Lee. Puck bouncing on Lee, taken away by Perreault. Perreault, backhand feet in front, and Lee took it away from Rick Martin. Shepard coming back for Pittsburgh. Long shot into the Buffalo end as the Penguins change on the fly. Malone line coming on. Rick Martin deep in the corner, right wing for Rene Robert. Bounced away from him. Stackhouse now just flips it ahead. Rick Martin knocked it down. Wheels across the line. Stackhouse hangs Martin up. Centering pass, and McAdam is there for Pittsburgh. Couldn't clear. Fogelin, a shot. Screened is Denny Herron. And he gloved the rising shot waist high and holds.
I don't know that Denny saw that one. He reacted a little strange when the shot came. Penn's trying to clear it out. Fogelin gambles a bit, comes in, takes the shot. Goes in. Herron sees that it might have jumped just a little bit on him, but Denny's down and makes the save.
To number 12, Savard and Malone. Robert fired a flip shot. Armpit high on Denny Herron, and those are the kind that really give you the jitters when they come floating up on you. You're so used to reacting quickly, and you almost have to delay the reaction and make sure you grab that puck and hold on. Malone and Savard. This time it's controlled by Pittsburgh. Campbell behind the net, hounded by Savard. Campbell works it to center. Taken back by Buffalo. Rick Martin slipped and fell. Now Greg Malone for the Penguins. Shoots it deep into the Buffalo zone. Hit the skate of the linesman, but kept onside by Shutt. Good feed for McAdam. McAdam moving to the corner, put it right to the goal mouth. Malone bats the puck and hits Savoy on the arm and bounded away. Robert for Buffalo. Shot it to center. Campbell knocked it aside for Ferguson. Ferguson for McAdam. Back to Ferguson. Oh, almost broke by Reichenbach. Back to Savard. To Robert. Robert has a big shot. Couldn't get it away. Campbell had him covered. Robert and McAdam jam up on the boards. Scramble for control. Taken away by Savard at the point. It's a shot by Bolin. In the corner, Martin centers and front. Savard looking for the backhander. Save! Oh, what a save by Denny Herron. Stackhouse out for McAdam. McAdam to Ferguson, breaking up the Buffalo line. Knocked away. Robert, but it's called on the offside pass. The faceoff will come inside the Buffalo blue line. 1-1, the game is tied. This is Pittsburgh Penguins playoff hockey. Pittsburgh had their best chance of the second period moments ago when Greg Malone was alone in front of Sauvé and batted the puck just wide. Face off Pittsburgh. Carlisle shoots it behind the Buffalo net. Korab for the Sabres. Now for Dunluce, back to Korab. Buffalo working out of their own end. Here's Bolin. Long shot wide of the goal. At the point, Ramsey behind the net for Don Luce. Luce trying to shovel it, gets it back to Bolin. Now to Luce in the corner. Don Luce putting it high in the slot, took it away. Here's Kinderchuk. Ahead for Rick Keogh. Keogh goes inside of the defense, leaving it for Kinderchuk. Kinderchuk in the corner for Lonsberry. Lonsberry with two Sabres all over him. Digging on the boards against Bolin. Bolin kicks it free for Rick Keogh, taken away by Keogh to Lonsberry. Lonsberry moving in. Oh, and Sauvé grabbed it right off the stick from Lonsberry. Lonsberry never got the shot away, Terry.
Well, the Pens haven't had a lot of great chances this game, but they just keep working, and they're going to get a break. Here's Lonsberry coming in, tries to put a move on Sauvé, but just seems to slip off on his backhand as the Korab comes in, tie him up, but Sauvé makes the save. There's timeout on the ice. We'll be back with more Penguin playoff hockey right after this. We come back to Buffalo. The Sabres have been penalized. Mike Bolin picks up 2 minutes for slashing at 8:51. So the Pens get their first power play advantage of the night.
Buffalo twice in the first period had power play chances. The Penguins held them off. This is the first time tonight the Penguins will have the man advantage. Carlisle shot at the point, blocked, loose in front, and Sauvé laying on the puck, smothers it as Peter Lee was there trying to jam it home, and now the defenseman letting Peter Lee know not to jam around at the goalkeeper.
Well, Lee and Schoenfeld have been bouncing the sticks around most of the evening. Here's Carlisle's shot, good and low. It's stopped by Luce on the way in. And now where's Peter Lee in the crease trying to tip it by, but Sauvé closes up on the legs, and there's Korab and Schoenfeld making a sandwich out of Lee.
Shepard wins the draw to Carlisle. Far point Stackhouse. His shot blocked by Schoenfeld. Stackhouse holding onside, dumps it to the corner. Korab looking for an opening, clears up ice. A minute 40 left on the power play for Pittsburgh. Randy Carlisle behind his own net. Now starting it out on the power play. To Shepard. Shepard shoots it to the corner. Off the backboard. Taken away by Peter Lee. Lee behind the net. Going to the corner. Peter Lee, the puck bouncing on him. Leaving it for Rod Shutt. Shutt trying to center in front. Knocked away from Shepard by Luce. Shepard right on Luce. Hard check from Korab. Play called for a face-off. Right side of Sauve. And now Lee and Luce have the sticks high.
I think Greg Shepard's been injured. Jerry Korab ran him into the boards pretty good. Trainer Steve Thomas out to take a look at it.
Korab indeed ran Shepard in the boards, and if you're looking for a textbook on penalties, you could have used that one as a cross-check on Korab. Shepard still down on the ice. The game is tied at 1-1, 10:19 remaining second period, so we're about halfway through regulation time. And of course, in playoff hockey, you talk about regulation time. Both goals scored in the first period. Boland for Buffalo and Shutt for Pittsburgh.
Well, stand by for your first out-of-town score. The Vancouver Canucks lead Philadelphia 1-0. Thomas Gradin scoring, and that goal comes in the second period. The Canucks lead the Flyers 1-0 right in Philadelphia.
Greg Shepard back up on his skates.
Well, he doesn't appear to be cut, which is a good sign, and probably just shaken up a little bit. Got rammed in there pretty good. Of course, Greg, one of the few players that doesn't wear a helmet in the National Hockey League.
Also looking to see if he's favoring a knee or an ankle. I think he may have just really been shaken up, and the bell rung pretty good. Malone with Kehoe and Lonsberry now. Face off right side of the Buffalo goal. Kinderchuk at the point. Kinderchuk high in the slot to Malone. Back to Kinderchuk. Far point, Stackhouse. His shot partially smothered, and Luce has the puck to Ramsey. Ramsey trying to skate with it. Knocked off balance by Stackhouse, and Rick Kehoe takes it back for the Penguins. Rick Kehoe starting it out for Stackhouse, taken away by Ramsey. Stackhouse has it back to Kinderchuk. 40 seconds left on the penalty to Boland as Kinderchuk moves it out center for Greg Malone. Malone right side for Rick Kehoe. Backhand pass from Malone comes through to Kinderchuk. Knocked away from him as he's going for the shot. Now Savard trying to catch up to it, but Stackhouse gets it to Rick Kehoe. On the left wing, Lonsberry. Lonsberry has to hold up. Kehoe on the right wing. Kehoe trying to move it on the boards for Lonsberry. Knocked aside. Now Kehoe gets it to Greg Malone. Malone in the corner all alone looking for somebody. Trying to move it to the point. The pass at the linesman's stake and right to Savard. And the penalty has expired to Boland. Game remains tied 1-1. And here's Danny Gare almost taking it away deep, but McAdam gets it back for Pittsburgh. Here's McAdam moving. McAdam to the corner. Trying to put it in front, turns the net, puts it right in the goal crease. Now Ferguson back at the point. Carlisle, his shot just wide. The puck off the backboards all the way to center ice. Bladen to Randy Carlisle. Carlisle, bouncing shot wide of the goal. Sauve leaving it there. Jacques Richard trying to tip it by. Bladen, beautiful move to McAdam, a shot high over the goal. In the corner, Danny Gare. Blair Chapman is out there. First shift in playoff action. Now Perreault is on. Here's Perreault, checked off by McAdam, and Ferguson turns it back for Pittsburgh. First to speed, Ferguson puts it in front. Sauve makes the save, the rebound. Knocked down by Sauve. Perreault on the left wing. Too far ahead for Jacques Richard. Back to Danny Gare, moving in. Hit the goalpost. Danny Gare hit the goalpost. And it's up over the glass into the crowd.
Get the Tums. We're not going to make it through this one. Johnny Wilson and Baz Bastine said you've got to have a couple things going into Stanley Cup playoff. One of them is luck, and right there we got the biggest break we'll get all night. Carlisle flips, and Gare comes in cold turkey, puts it upstairs, it hits the crossbar, the goaltender's best friend, and goes out of play. Woo!
That big chance was created by the Pittsburgh defenseman slipping and falling, and Danny Gare was in free. Greg Shepard now being helped to the dressing room. Shepard, I don't know, I have no idea, but you can see he's obviously in a great deal of pain. And Shepard going to the dressing room with 8:03 remaining second period. Kinderchuk, Kehoe, and Lansbury against the Savard line for the Buffalo Sabres. The Penguins got to dig deeper now with Shepard gone. Kinderchuk flips it to the backboards. Lansbury rushing, and Sauvé knocks it away. Now Rene Robert in the corner. Kehoe challenging. Knocks the puck away from him. Lansbury and Korab battle. Korab gets it to center. Robert for Buffalo. Circling, leaving it for Rick Martin. Martin sliding it to the slot. Kinderchuk clear to the side. Kinderchuk out at center for Rick Kehoe. Kehoe in across the line now, shifts into high gear, puts it through the goal mouth, comes to the corner. Lansbury and Robert. Robert flips it to Korab. Left side for Rick Martin. Rick Martin at the line. Will he take the shot? Drops it for Savard. Savard in for Robert. Score! Robert!
Well, there's always one player you have to worry about in Buffalo, and it's Rene Robert. Here's Savard. Just stands there, waits. Now Robert breaks down the slot, unmolested. Takes a good look. Heron holds his ground very well, and Robert picks the top corner on him. Robert with his first goal of the year in the playoffs and 21st goal in Stanley Cup playoff action. Goal comes at 12:48 of the second period.
Malone moves up to center the line. Formerly centered by Shepard with Lee and Shutt. Ramsey, a shot right on. Saved by Denny Herron. Rod Shutt shooting at the center. Gathered in by Tom Blayton. Blayton shoots it to the corner. Sauvé leaving it for Don Luce. Left wing Ramsey hit hard by Blayton. Puck flipped to the corner, and Schoenfeld takes over for Stewart. Stewart out at center. Don Luce checked off by Blayton. And Tom Blayton with the puck. Out at center for Peter Lee. Lee for Malone. Malone shoveled it across the line, but Pittsburgh called on the offside. 2-1, Buffalo in the lead, 6:31 remaining second period. So Johnny Wilson, as he's done all season long with injuries, really hurting the Penguins, reshuffling the lines. Malone with Shutt and Lee, and Ferguson, I guess, would move into a center spot with the absence of Greg Shepard. Face-off controlled by Buffalo. Schoenfeld trying to wheel through center. Whips the puck around the boards. Denny Herron stops it behind the net. Carlisle is there for Pittsburgh. Slips it through for Rod Shutt. Shutt on the move. Quick shot wide of the goal. Peter Lee going for the rebound. Knocked off Ramsey. Centered in front. Comes through for Carlisle. Carlisle lays it to the corner. Schoenfeld holds off Lee, but not Malone. Malone on the backboard. Check, but Rick Sealing breaks back for Buffalo. Here comes Sealing on a solo effort. Poke checked away by Carlisle, and now the offside call on Buffalo. From the Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo, New York, this is Pittsburgh Penguins playoff hockey.
There you see the out-of-town scoreboard. Vancouver leading Philadelphia 1-0 after in the second period. Los Angeles at New York Rangers, no score, and Toronto at Atlanta, no score in the second.
Ferguson is centering a line with McAdam and Blair Chapman. So Johnny Wilson going deep on the bench now with the likes of Pete Mahovlich and Dale Talon out. Oh, beautiful centering pass by Ferguson, but Chapman couldn't quite catch it. And Buffalo dumps the puck deep into the Pittsburgh end. 2-1, the Sabres leading the Penguins. Campbell works the puck to center. Jacques Richard took over, knocked it down, loose puck. Chapman trying to dig it free for Ferguson. Now Danny Gare sending Perreault in across the line, but it's going to be called offside, Buffalo.
Well, here's Billy Inglis trying to match lines up now, putting Perreault out. He sees that Johnny Wilson's down and had to do some juggling. So George Ferguson has moved in and he's centering for McAdam and Blair Chapman.
One of the great things, though, with a player like Ferguson, who can step into center and feel quite at home at center as well as the right wing. Campbell behind his own net. Trying to move it out, taken away by Gare, but Campbell recovers for Pittsburgh. Now right wing for Blair Chapman. Trying to flip it ahead for Ferguson. Knocked away. Perreault has it. Centers for Danny Gare. Campbell knocked it away. McAdam. Left wing boards for Ferguson. Ferguson, Fogelin, jam in the corner. Fogelin falls. And they'll drop the puck right side of Bob Sauvé. 4:50 remaining second period, 2-1. Buffalo leading Pittsburgh. Line change for both the Penguins and the Sabres. Kinderchuk line coming back. The only one remaining intact that started the game for Pittsburgh with Lansbury and Rick Kehoe. Andre Savard face off against Kinderchuk. Face off Pittsburgh. Carlisle at the point. His shot deflected wide by Kehoe. Just bounced wide. Korab in the corner to Rene Robert. His pass knocked aside. Now Kehoe trying to put it in front. Bouncing around. The puck slapped out to center by Buffalo. Carlisle flips it back into the Sabres zone, and the Penguins on the attack forechecking. Lansbury ties up Robert. Puck to Carlisle. A shot rolling to the goal mouth, and Sauvé diving to the ice, covers up and holds.
Well, if that puck would have gone just a little slower, Rick Kehoe would have been able to jump on it, but no dice yet. The shots through second period action so far. Buffalo with 21, Pittsburgh with 13, and the Maple Leafs have jumped out in front of Atlanta 1-0 on a goal by Walt McKechnie, unassisted and shorthanded.
Kinderchuk face off controlled by Pittsburgh, but Buffalo now takes over, flips it to center. And Randy Carlisle, who is as the other defenseman tonight, because Johnny Wilson only going with 4 defensemen, has really been putting in a lot of work tonight. 4:14 remaining second period, 2-1. Buffalo in the lead. The Penguins have never had the lead. Buffalo scored first. Bolin scored. Then Rod Shutt tied it up. Then Rene Robert put Buffalo ahead here in the second period. Randy Carlisle sweeps the puck to Kinderchuk in the corner. He's held by Bolin. Carlisle trying to center, comes back at the point. And Lansbury batting at it, gets it to Rick Kehoe. Cross ice to Tom Bladen. Bladen flips it back to the corner, right on goal. Sauvé setting it aside. Lansbury back to the point for Carlisle. Carlisle moving by his man, fires. Oh, that just whistled wide through a maze of players. Tom Bladen in the corner for Rick Kehoe. Rick Kehoe trying to move it back at the point. It's cleared to center by Buffalo, but Bladen moving it right back for Pittsburgh to Kinderchuk. Kinderchuk fired, stick save by Sauvé over the glass, but the Penguins applying pressure on Buffalo. From Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo, this is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff hockey.
We switched. We switched to Dollar Savings Bank.
And we're glad we did. Our free dollar draft account was just the beginning.
Schoenfeld and Lee digging the corners. Here's Malone stealing behind the net, centered right in front, knocked away from Rod Shutt. Now Rick Sealing trying to clear. Campbell holding on side, moving for the shot, fired. Oh, and the skate just went wide. Out in front, Shutt fired, knocked down by the defense. Now Stockhouse couldn't get to it. Ramsey swept it away. Right side for Rick Sealing. He tips it to the corner. Campbell behind the net, moving away from Sealing, couldn't get away from Ramsey. Out in front, centering pass to Lee, now to Shutt. Here's Shutt for Pittsburgh, drop pass for Campbell. Puts on the break, bats the puck to the corner for Rod Shutt. He was held off the boards, and now Luce comes back for Buffalo. Luce puts it right to the goal mouth and slides through to the corner. Schoenfeld flipped it to the near corner. Rod Shutt and Fogelin. Fogelin kicks it away from Shutt. Now Stockhouse moving in the corner. It's to Ramsey. Back at the point, Fogelin. His shot bouncing wide of the goal. Danny Gare in the corner to Ramsey. Ramsey, he goes to the corner. Centers in front. Knocked aside by Campbell, and Shutt unloads up ice. It'll be right on goal, so no icing. 2 minutes remaining second period. Schoenfeld almost lost it to Blair Chapman. Comes through to Randy Carlisle. To Chapman. Here's Ferguson. Ferguson across the line. Fired. Knocked down. Rebound. Swept aside by Perreault. Jacques Richard jams in the corner. Now Perreault Knocked off the puck, but the puck rolls on the board to Danny Gare to Perreault. Perreault to Richard. Richard fired. Six save by Denny Herron. John Bladen for Pittsburgh. Sweeps it ahead to Ferguson. Ferguson trying to go inside, but hooked away by Breitenbach. Now Perreault in across the line. Carlisle, poke check, has it away from Perreault, and Perreault and Carlisle get the sticks high. As McAdam comes back for Pittsburgh. Tries to move between the defense. Knocked down. Now here's Bladen. Oh, the goal was open, but couldn't get the shot away. Out at center, Danny Gare has Jacques Richard at the line. Richard fired. It hit Denny Herron high on the shoulder, and Denny Herron is shaken up. Denny Herron is hurt. And now play is called, and Denny Herron took that one on the shoulder, and Denny Herron is hurt.
I think Denny might have eased up a little bit because it looked like an offside play. And there was no call by Leon Stickle. The shot came on in, went up high, and caught Denny on the shoulder. Maybe we can see if it was.
Steve Thomas, well, here you can see it.
Well, you can't see the questionable offside call, but there's the shot. It's up high, and Herron makes the shoulder save.
But Steve Thomas, who was in the dressing room attending to Greg Shepard, who left midway through the second period with an injury, has to come out now and attend to Denny Herron. So Steve Thomas, a busy man tonight. And as we said prior to this game, injury is going to be a big factor.
Well, there's another rookie just waiting for his first chance, rookie Greg Millen. And on the out-of-town scoreboard now, the Rangers' first report. The Rangers lead the LA Kings 2-1 in the first period.
Denny Herron flexing his right shoulder. I looked at it, hit him on the left shoulder, but he's flexing the right shoulder, and apparently he says, I'm ready to go back to action. What a game he's played, and Denny Herron, with great intensity and great competitive spirit, is going to stay in the nets and continue for the Penguins.
Well, one good thing, if there is a good thing about an injury like that, it happened with a minute to go, so Denny will be able to go into the dressing room right away and get some ice on it and keep any swelling down, and just hope that his arm doesn't stiffen up.
Face-off will come at center ice. Kinderchuk with Lonsberry and Kehoe against the Savard line. 2-1, Buffalo in the lead. The game was tied 1-1 after one period. Robert scored here in the second to give Buffalo a one-goal lead. Campbell shooting the puck to the Buffalo line. Korab takes over for the Sabres. Here comes Korab, flipping it to the corner. And Rick Kehoe back quickly for Pittsburgh. Trying left wing side, Lonsberry. He was run into by Fogelin, but Lonsberry gets the puck to center. Now Korab for Buffalo. Pass at the back of Savard. Robert crisscrossing, lost the puck, and Stockhouse shoots it left side of the Buffalo goal. 30 seconds remaining, second period. Buffalo on a rush to center with Savard. Rick Martin on the left wing, couldn't get by Stockhouse, and Denny Herron shows no ill effects of the shoulder injury as he smacked the puck to the corner. Korab deep in his own end. Lifting it high to center, grabbed off by Kinderchuk. He has to wait till his teammates get on side. Look at the work by Kinderchuk, and then they're called on the offside with 5 seconds remaining in the second period. Rick Kehoe just a step too anxious on the right wing. There's the story, 2-1. Buffalo leading, 5 seconds remaining, second period. Johnny Wilson coming back with Malone, Ferguson, and McAdam. Face-off all important here. That's why he's got two centers out there. Malone, if he's waved out, Ferguson can step in and take the draw, but no need as the puck is dropped. Buffalo controls. Ramsey just dragging the puck at center as the second period of play comes to an end with the score. Buffalo 2, Pittsburgh 1. We'll be back with our second intermission guests, the Mahavliches, with the gunner, Bob Prince.
The Pittsburgh Penguins play power hockey. That's the name of the game.
Hey, hockey fans, don't miss the Pittsburgh Penguins in the exciting National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs. Purchase your playoff tickets now. On sale at the Civic Arena, Kaufman's, and National Record Marks. Or call the Penguin Action Line with your Visa or MasterCharge at 765-3939.
Time scoreboard right before we get ready to start the third period. The Maple Leafs lead Atlanta 2-1. Pronovo has scored for the Flames. McKechnie has both Toronto goals. Vancouver still leads Philadelphia 1-0 on a goal by Thomas Gredin. And New York leads the LA Kings 2-1. DeBlois and McEwen for the Rangers. Charlie Semmer for the Kings. We need a goal to tie it. We need 2 to win it.
Simple as that, Terry. You're right. Kinderchuk and Loose face off center ice. Penguins. Bladen to Carlisle. Pittsburgh's got to get going now. On track. Across the line, offside as Rick Kehoe bumped into Korab and caused the offside. They'll drop it at center ice. 2-1, Buffalo leading Pittsburgh. The goals by Bolin and Robert for Buffalo. Rod Shutt tipping in a shot from Tom Blake. And it's 2-1 Buffalo as we begin the third period of play. Luce and Kinderchuk face off Buffalo. Up the middle for Luce. Out of reach, right on goal. No icing as Bladen turns back for Pittsburgh. Here comes Tom Bladen. Good feet, right wing for Rick Kehoe. Now Kinderchuk. Kinderchuk as Lonsberry moving left wing. Takes it on the skate. Puts a shot on. Oh, and Sauvé had trouble with it, but held it out. No goal, but I'll tell you, very close, Terry, and that's the kind of break that Pittsburgh needs.
Ross Lonsberry almost had him moving the wrong way and got it by on the short side, but there it is. Sauvé makes the save and hangs in there along the post, puts the glove on it, keeps it against the pads, and the Pens with a good scoring chance right off the bat at the start of the third period. Jerry Korab, one of the veterans of Stanley Cup playoff play, coming back to say, just take it easy. Realize it's his first game and a lot of pressure on him.
Incidentally, in playoff action, all of the goal judges and minor officials are from neutral sites. The goal judges tonight from Detroit.
And Thursday night, the crew from Chicago will work the Buffalo at Pittsburgh game.
Face off right side of Sauvé. Kinderchuk and Luce. Penguins have come within inches a couple of times. Carlisle fired, knocked down in front. And Korab comes back. Has Rick Sealing breaking on the right wing. The pass went off his skate. Denny Herron sweeps it, but not out. A shot at the point went wide of the net. Buck Karams back to Rick Kehoe. Kehoe manages to clear to center ice. Rick Sealing shoots it back into the Pittsburgh end. Denny Herron sets it up as Buffalo changes on the fly. Lonsberry at center. Jacques Richard almost intercepted, but it's deflected over the glass into the crowd. Face-off will come at center ice. Third period of action from the auditorium in Buffalo. 2-1, the Sabres leading the Penguins. Malone and Perreault. Malone centering in place of Greg Shepard. And then George Ferguson moved to center to take over from Malone on the line that he normally would be centering. Ron Stackhouse bangs it on the right wing for Peter Lee. Center for Malone. Has Rod Shutt breaking left side. Fired it just wide. Peter Lee sent a shot back in. Loose in front. Shutt to Lee. Fired. Save made. And Sauvé covers up side of the goal mouth. But now the Penguins are making Sauvé come up with a couple of big saves. First 2 periods, it was all Denny Herron.
Well, the second big play, here it is. Shutt just dishes it off to Lee. Lee tries to get Sauvé to commit himself and snaps a quick shot, hoping for a rebound with Malone and Shutt nearby, but Sauvé puts the glove to it.
Face-off left side of the Buffalo goal. Perreault and Malone. Face-off still up for grabs. Perreault gathers in the loose puck, turns the net, and he'll see how far he can freewheel. Throws it on the right wing for Danny Gare. Pass out of reach and a shot bouncing on goal. Sauvé credited with the save as he bounces it aside for Schoenfeld. Stolen by Peter Lee. But Perreault comes back. Peter Lee has it again. Cranks up for the shot. He was checked from behind. Now Richard for Buffalo. Jacques Richard and across the line. Tried to slip through the defense. Stackhouse knocked it away. Perreault. Oh, what a save by Denny Herron. Spread eagle. Gloved the shot by Perreault.
Well, now you've got Malone and Schoenfeld pushing a little bit, but here's Perreault. The shot would have probably gone wide, but Denny Herron can't take any chances. He's got to reach out there, stretch all the way out, put the glove to it, and comes up with another big save.
Little discussion in front of the Pittsburgh goal, but the players peeling off. 18:08 remaining regulation time. 2-1. Buffalo in the lead. The Penguins needing a goal to get back in it. Buffalo outshot Pittsburgh 12-3 in that first period, but the Penguins slowly chipping away. The shots now in favor of Buffalo, 23-17. Reichenbach, a shot wide of the net. McAdam trying to move it out. Robert, oh, what a quick shot, and Denny Herron was ready for it. Now Ferguson at center for Blair Chapman. Chapman, good feed for McAdam. McAdam couldn't quite catch up to it. Now Chapman behind the net for Ferguson. Ferguson trying to flip it in front. Reichenbach all over him. McAdam takes over for Pittsburgh. He's held off the puck. Still centers while he's on his knees. Knocked aside by Fogelin to Robert. 3-on-3, Buffalo moving on Pittsburgh. Rick Martin, quick shot, saved by Denny Herron. Behind the net for Randy Carlyle. Right wing, Blair Chapman. Chapman slowly through center, overskated the puck, gets help from Tom Bladen. Bladen now turns at his own line. Look at the beautiful feed for McAdam. McAdam in the corner, knocked off the puck by Fogelin. And Buffalo clears to center. Carlyle shooting it right side, intercepted by Robert. Robert to Luce. Luce shoots it in, but offside. Buffalo. Boy, if McAdam could have taken that pass cleanly, Terry, but that's history. Right now, there's a break in the action. The score, Buffalo 2, Pittsburgh 1.
Well, no change on the out-of-town scores, but we have been informed that Greg Shepard has been taken to Buffalo General Hospital for x-rays.
So Greg Shepard through for tonight. Hopefully we'll be ready Thursday night for Game 2 back in Pittsburgh. Game time 7:30, the Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres. Right now the Penguins really have to dig deep and try and get a goal to tie here. Stackhouse around the boards for Rick Kehoe. Kehoe moving it through center. Campbell leading the rush. His shot deflected by Rick Sealing. Sealing with the puck, just shot at the center. Stackhouse has it back for the Penguins. Shooting it back in the Buffalo end. This is what the Penguins want to do. Keep the puck in the Sabre end and go to work forechecking as they're doing here. Lonsberry's shot hit the skate of Rick Kehoe. Stackhouse at center for the Pittsburgh. To Campbell. Campbell's pass hit his skate. Ramsey grabs it off, but it's poked away by Stackhouse. Now Rick Sealing firing it around the boards. Took a crazy bounce. Stackhouse recovers quickly, gets it to Rick Kehoe, leading it for Stackhouse. Back to Kehoe, give and go. Here's Kehoe, a shot whistled wide, short side. Rick Sealing trying to clear it out, got it to Ramsey. Ramsey down the center, leaving it for Don Luce. Luce looking, waiting, put it through the goal mouth. Taken off the boards by Rick Kehoe. Kehoe checked off by Sealing, following up Stackhouse. He jams up as they fall to the ice. Play called for a face-off just inside the Pittsburgh blue line. Not going to dwell on injuries, Terry. Nothing you can do about that. Pete Mahovlich, Dale Talon, Greg Shepard,
Russ Anderson, Wayne Bianchin, Mike Meeker. The list gets longer and longer. We can only hope that Shep will be okay and back in that lineup Thursday night.
All the Penguins can do is dig deeper and try and come back, despite all the injuries and bad breaks. And here's a bad one as Perreault skates in and fires. Oh, Denny Herron, unbelievable on the save. And another save on Denny Gare. Denny Herron standing them on their ears.
Well, Joe Perreault's had two great chances here in the third period. Herron has stopped them both, and he stops Denny Herron. Here you'll see it. Perreault coming right down. He winds up, got the good shot. And Herron makes the save, kicks it away. Perreault back out to Gare in the slot, another shot, and Herron up, ready, makes the save.
Face-off controlled by Pittsburgh, Randy Carlyle. Behind his own net, 15:10 remaining regulation time. Randy Carlyle weaving, bobbing, stick hunting through center. Tripped up was Rod Shutt. And the puck to Schoenfeld, leaving it in the corner for Stewart. Out at center, past everybody. And this should be an icing call and will be on the Buffalo Sabres. The play will come back in the Buffalo end. And that's where the Penguins want to keep the play now. A break in the action from Buffalo. This is Pittsburgh Penguin playoff action. Sellout crowd of over 16,000 in the Memorial Auditorium here in Buffalo watching a good one. Perreault and Ferguson. Ferguson pressed into centering duties with the injury to Greg Shepard. Face-off controlled by Pittsburgh. McAdams shot was blocked, and the puck back at center ice. Campbell slipped and fell, but managed to get the puck ahead. And again ahead to Blair Chapman. Chapman moving. Score! Blair Chapman on a fantastic effort from Colin Campbell. Campbell did not give up, and that's exactly what the Penguins got to do. They got to keep coming, not giving up. And Campbell got it to Chapman, who whistled it by Sauvé.
And a good burst of speed by Chapman and a good goal scoring. Good move. He sees Sauvé out and goes up high up into the corner. The Pens tied up 2-2 at 5:21. Chapman, his first playoff goal of the year and second in his career.
You talk about the guts, the heart of the Penguins this season. Blair Chapman is playing only because Greg Shepard was injured. And the guy that comes on really to replace Shepard gets the tying goal. Chapman in the corner. Puck by him. Danny Gare nailed hard by Chapman. Now in the corner. It's back to Randy Carlyle. Buffalo's got to be stunned with that goal by Blair Chapman, who has it again at center to Ferguson. Ferguson, good feed on the right side of Carlyle, who's leading the rush. Carlyle, a backhander, lifted over the crossbar. Chapman behind the net, and a whistle as the puck is caught in the net behind the Buffalo goal. The faceoff will come outside the Buffalo blue line.
Well, we remind you, Thursday back in Pittsburgh at 7:30, and if a third game is needed, it will be back here in Buffalo Saturday, April 14th at 1 p.m. and will be seen on Channel 53.
Johnny Wilson breathing a sigh of relief as there's life left in the depleted Penguin ranks. Robert bats it at center for Savard. Backhand pass, and Kinderchuk going both ways has it back for Pittsburgh. Deep in the Buffalo end, Jerry Korab, who nailed Shepard and injured Greg Shepard, leading the rush to center. Going outside in Carlyle. Korab centers for Rick Martin, but Kinderchuk had him checked. And Kinderchuk skates away with it to Carlyle. Randy Carlyle at the line, leaving it, but offside as Rick Kehoe was just a step too quick at the Buffalo blue line. 2-2, the game tied, Terry.
Mike Boland scored in the first period for the Pens. Rod Shutt tipped one in from Tom Bladen to tie it. The second period, the ever-dangerous Rennie Robert scored for the Sabres, but Blair Chapman, taking a pass from Soupy Campbell, ties it up at 5:21 of the third period.
Greg Malone with Shutt and Lee against the loose line. Malone walks right across the line with the face-off, but then losing it. Schoenfeld has it. Right side to Savard, has Ramsey ahead, but he's checked off by Greg Malone. Now loose. Here's this. Oh, Peter Lee almost walked in, but the puck bounced over his stick, and Ramsey whistles it high on the glass around the boards. Rod Shutt in the corner for Pittsburgh. Rod Shutt losing it loose, puts it right to the goal mouth. Back at the point, Schoenfeld. His shot blocked. Now Peter Lee. Backhand feed. Rod Shutt digging for the puck. Stewart blocked him off. Sauvé clears it out of danger. At the point, Stackhouse fired it. Peter Lee has it on the far boards. Backhand pass right to Stewart. And Stewart coming to center. Peter Lee took it back. Here's Lee to Malone. Back to Lee. And Lee couldn't quite find the handle on it. Peter Lee puts it out in front. Rick Sealing knocked it down for Buffalo. On the boards for Ramsey. He cleared to center. Loose gets it back to Rick Sealing. Shutt knocking down Sealing, and a penalty's going to be called on Rod Shutt. You think Sealing took the dive, Terry, but it's a penalty nonetheless.
Well, in a sense, it's a good play because Sealing was picking up some steam and heading in. We'll be back in a second. There's more Penguin hockey right after this. Good. And down goes Sealing. So the Sabres come out with their third power play chance of the evening. 12:33 remaining in the third period. The score is tied 2-2.
Key point in the game right now, and it's up to Kinderchuk and Ferguson. Here's a shot wide. Now Rick Martin back at the point for Korab, taken away by Kinderchuk to Ferguson. One-on-one. Ferguson against Robert. Ferguson fired, and it must have hit the shoulder of Sauvé because it's up over the glass into the crowd. Ferguson, leading goal scorer on shorthanded goals for the Penguins, came within inches of another, Terry.
Well, I was a little surprised that he took the shot from so far out. Maybe he didn't realize that it was a forward. Rennie Robert was the last man he had to beat, and had Rennie sort of tripping around, I think if he'd put the spurt on, he could have walked around him, but you have to take your chance when you can. He took the shot, the save was made, and went up out of play.
Kinderchuk, now Lunsbury with Carlisle and Bladen to kill off the penalty. And Buffalo has all the power they can muster out there right now. Perreault, Rick Martin, Robert, Danny Gare, and Korab. Perreault with room to move. He's dangerous. Look at him go across the line, but he's stopped by Carlisle, and Lunsbury clears on the backhand. 1:25 remaining on the penalty to Rod Shutt. And the Buffalo fans screaming, go, go, as Korab starts it out. Now Rick Martin leading the rush through center. Has it across the line onside. Lost it. Lunsbury knocked it away, and Kinderchuk cleared up ice. Malone coming on for Kinderchuk. As Robert now leads a rush through center, and Lunsbury took it right away from him. Now Ferguson replacing Lunsbury. You got to be proud of the Penguins right now, Terry. Coming again, Buffalo. Korab tries the right side. Through for Rene Robert, and Ferguson checks him off. Robert still has the puck. Back at the point. Sealing to Korab. Korab back to Sealing. Right side, Robert. Robert just holding it. Looking for movement. Now Korab breaks to the goal mouth. Robert behind the net for Perreault. Bouncing over his stick, and Malone fails to clear. Rick Sealing dumps it behind the net. Colin Campbell has it. Fails to clear. Robert at the point. In the corner, Campbell has it back. Couldn't clear. Robert knocked it down. In the corner for Ramsey. He left it go through for Perreault out in front. Malone, perfect position. Perreault has it back. Perreault in the corner. Coming out in front. For Robert, his shot. Blocked in front. Korab centers and shot out of the penalty box. Has Malone up ice. Couldn't get it to him. Malone to the corner. Sauvé out. Touches the puck, so no icing. But we do have a face-off in the Buffalo end, and the Penguins, with pride, have skidded off the power play of Buffalo.
And we can quit holding our breath for a while, because for the last 2 minutes, it's just been up and down. The Sabres trying to break in there. There's timeout on the ice. We'll be back with more Penguin playoff hockey right after this.
Billy Inglis has to be a little dejected right now. The game is tied, and they've just failed to take the lead back on the power play. 2-2 with 2:18, rather 10 minutes, 18 seconds left in regulation time. Kinderchuk and Loose face off. On the near board, still up for grabs. Ramsey trying to clear it out. Bladen holding him off, and Kehoe jams up for another face-off. Well, our old friend Jean Pronovo has scored for Atlanta, but the Maple Leafs still have the lead, 2-1. Vancouver still leading Philadelphia 1-0 in the third. New York leading the LA Kings 2-1. Our game is tied at 2-2. Kinderchuk and Loose. Penguins have never had the lead. Twice they've come from behind to tie. Schoenfeld tried to turn the net, got into trouble in the corner. Gets help from Bill Stewart. Stewart, left wing for Ramsey, and right there's Kinderchuk to tie him up, and now Kehoe gets it to Lunsbury. At the point for Bladen, his shot knocked out in front, Kinderchuk. Back far point, Carlisle. His shot partially blocked in front, and Schoenfeld in the corner looking for help. Taken away, and it comes right to the goal mouth. Sauvé drops it ahead for Don Luce. Luce trying to move on Kehoe, but Kehoe all over him. Lunsbury flips it to center. Rick Sealing for Buffalo. Shot it open right wing. Nobody there but Randy Carlisle. Carlisle backhands it to center ice. Stewart, long shot. Stick save by Denny Herron. Randy Carlisle pokes it ahead for Lunsbury. Lunsbury looking, waiting, now to Ferguson. Ferguson busts through two, and then he was held by Rick Martin. Behind the net, Rene Robert. Robert out at center for Loose. Loose shooting it into the Pittsburgh end. Bouncing from the corner right in the goal mouth. Campbell trying to spin away from Rick Martin. Gets help from Ferguson. Ferguson bangs the puck to center ice. It's back to Savard. Savard checked off by McAdam. The Penguins now checking the Buffalo to a standstill. Savard across the line. Campbell. Hard check on Savard to go sprawling to the ice. And Ferguson fails to clear. Batted back in the slot. Knocked down by Campbell. And Ferguson has the puck for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh taking the game from Buffalo. Here comes Ferguson across the line to McAdam. McAdam wheeling in front. Tripped and fell, and the penalty's going to be called. The penalty to Buffalo for tripping, and the Penguins now get the power play. Terry?
Well, the turkey's on the table for the Pens. We'll be back with that power play advantage after this timeout. Is off for tripping. 8:18 left in regulation time. The Pens getting ready for their second power play advantage of the night.
You know, Terry, this game has been textbook Penguins all season long. They just keep working despite the odds, despite the injury to Shepard. Blair Chapman comes on. He gets a tying goal. Buffalo just stormed all over Pittsburgh early part of the game, but the Penguins kept their cool, stayed at the game plan, just kept working, and now have a chance to take the lead. Bladen at the point to Peter Lee. Lee lays it in the slot, but Korab is there all alone and clears up ice. Pittsburgh with the power play. Malone with Lee and Shutt. Carlisle and Bladen at the points. Carlisle brings it out left side. Rod Shutt will move it to center. Shutt weaving across the line to Malone. Malone spins at the point, leaving it for Carlisle. Carlisle bouncing it. Oh, he had Lee all alone in front, but couldn't get it through to him. A minute 20 remaining on the penalty to Breitenbach. In for tripping at 11:42. Bladen to Malone. Greg Malone shooting it in, and the Penguins on the attack. Sauve dumps it to the corner, comes through to the point to Tom Bladen. Good feet, far side. Carlisle, a shot on. Sauve grabs it at the knee and holds.
And that might have been a look what I found. Pens moved it around very good. Tom Bladen made the initial play, fired it over to Randy Carlisle. Carlisle with a low shot. And Sauve makes the catch on there with Shutt and Lee nearby for a possible rebound. A minute 3 left on the power play. 7:21 left in regulation time.
Kinderchuk with Lansbury and Keogh. I've been thinking all night long Keogh's going to pop a big one.
Rick scored 5 in 3 games against the Sabres this year.
Face-off controlled by Buffalo. Schoenfeld in trouble, though. Losing it. Kinderchuk with it for Pittsburgh. Fakes the feed to the point. Still ragging it wisely. Now back to Stackhouse. Far side to Carlisle. Carlisle in the corner for Kinderchuk. Bouncing around. Schoenfeld trying to nail off Kinderchuk does. But Kehoe goes to work far side. Puts it in the slot. Schoenfeld is there. Schoenfeld skating it out for Buffalo. To Luce across the line. Luce challenged by Carlisle, and Keogh takes over the puck for Pittsburgh with 25 seconds left on the power play. Kinderchuk behind the Pittsburgh goal, spinning out right side. Kinderchuk slowly to center, bobbing and weaving. Now to Keogh, the pass behind him. Keogh has to catch up to it first, but no, he can't. But icing called on Pittsburgh with 13 seconds left on the penalty to Breitenbach.
Well, tough break there. Kinderchuk tried to hit Kehoe, and just as Rick started to break to the left and come over the line, and the pass was too far, went behind. The Sabres touched up, and it's icing against Pittsburgh. It'll come back into their own end. 13 seconds remaining on the penalty to Breitenbach. 6:31 in regulation time, and we could be looking at overtime because everybody's going to play it tight to the vest the rest of the way.
If you just joined us, Buffalo has never trailed. They went ahead in the first period. Shutt tied it at 1-1. Robert scored in the second to make it 2-1. Chapman scored here in the third to tie it up at 2-2. The big factor in the game so far, the great penalty, the great goalkeeping by Denny Herron, and an injury to Greg Shepard midway in the second period.
And still no change out of town. Rangers leading the Kings 2-1 in the second. The major upset, Vancouver with a 1-0 lead in Philadelphia, and Toronto leading the Flames 2-1 in Atlanta.
Ferguson face-off. Buffalo. Korab fired a shot wide. McAdam for Pittsburgh. To Stackhouse. Back to Colin Campbell off his stick, and Rick Sealing shoots a puck deep in the Pittsburgh end as the penalty expires to Breitenbach. So the Penguins fail on the power play. Ferguson trying to rush across the line to McAdam. Score! Gary McAdam! And the Penguins take the lead, 3-2.
And the bench empties, and it belongs to nobody more and happier than Gary McAdam, the man that was traded away from the Buffalo Sabres. And 6:06 left in the game. Here's Ferguson and McAdam coming in for that loose puck. Ferguson makes the play, just knocking it loose. Now McAdam winds. Looks like it'll hit the pipe up top and goes in, and the Pens are on front 3-2.
With 6 minutes left in the game, McAdam, who used to be in a Buffalo uniform until the trade for Davy Schultz, and now McAdam comes back to score what looks like a mighty big goal against his former teammates, the Buffalo Sabres.
And the next 6:06 will seem like a lifetime, but the Pens are on top. We don't have to trail. We're not chasing. We'll go into the defensive shell. The clock is in our favor, and we're coming home Thursday, hopefully. But it's 3-2 with 6:06 remaining.
Nail-biting time now. Let's see if Denny Herron, who has been just Mr. Super in the nets for the Penguins, can hold them off. Colin Campbell losing it. Danny Gare has to hold up. He's hit hard by Malone. Now shot deep into the Pittsburgh end. Stackhouse to Rod Schutt. Schutt trying to move it out. Kept on side by Jacques Richard. He gets it to Danny Gare. A shot is blocked by Stackhouse, who hangs Gare high on the boards, and Peter Lee losing it to Perreault. Perreault wheeling back at the blue line for Korab to Richard. His shot is wide. Peter Lee gets it out at center off the leg of Rod Schutt. 5:25 remaining in the game. Puck around the boards cleanly to Jacques Richard. He centers, comes through to the point. Ball and fired. Oh, what a save in front by Denny Herron.
5:15 remaining. Go, clock, go. Take a look at that last save by Denny Herron. The Sabres will throw everything now but the kitchen sink. There's the shot by Bolin. Herron sees it all the way, even the stick's waving in front of him, but he gets the glove to it. McAdam, first goal of the playoffs this year from Ferguson and Campbell. Campbell with 2 assists in his third period.
Face-off controlled by Pittsburgh. Randy Carlyle, the first time the Penguins have had the lead. Ramsey taking it from Carlyle. Out in front for Luce, a backhander deflected behind the net by Tom Bladen, who's played the game of his life tonight for Pittsburgh. Now Reitenbach in across the line, kept on side by Ramsey. He shot it deep in the Pittsburgh end. Carlyle in control for the Penguins. 3 men in for Buffalo now as they're taking out all the stops. They've got to. They trail for the first time. Rick Sealing bats it, but it's an offside pass called on Buffalo. The face-off back inside the Buffalo blue line with 4:41 remaining in the game.
Okay, another look at the Pittsburgh goal coming up. The leading goal by Gary McAdam. Campbell shot it up. Now Ferguson goes after it. You'll see Ferguson just lift the stick of Bill Stewart, and it comes to McAdam. Gary wastes no time. A good shot. Bing, bang, bong. It's in the net. The Pens in front 3-2 with 4.5 left.
You're right, Terry. Credit George Ferguson with the biggest assist of his life on that goal by McAdam. Terry Schiffauer and I will be picking the star of the game for Pittsburgh. We'll be talking to Bob Prince after this game is over. And without a doubt, so far, it's got to be Denny Herron. Terry?
Well, the fans are getting off their hands now, trying to inspire the Sabres. I know our fans are going to be there 16,000 strong on Thursday night to welcome the Pens back after this gutty performance.
Schoenfeld for Buffalo to Robert. He's tied up by Lansbury. Back at the point, Carlyle for Keogh. Keogh tees it up, and Schoenfeld sprawling to the ice, blocks the shot. Keogh to Kinderchuk in front for Lansbury. Lansbury shot blocked. Kinderchuk score! Kinderchuk And it's 4-2 Pittsburgh as Kinderchuk bats in a loose potato.
Oh, that jinx is still working. I think I see some Buffalo fans going home. Their hockey season may be one game from being over. 4-2 lead for the Pens. Kinderchuk with a really big goal. Pens had the pressure on. Here's Lonsberry with it. Takes the shot, deflected by Sabre, but now Kinderchuk sees it, comes in, fires it to the left, up over the stick side, and Oris Kinderchuk gets his first playoff goal of the season and number 17 of his career.
4:12 remaining regulation time. It's 4-2. Pittsburgh has busted it open here in the third period. We talked about pride. Every reason the Penguins could have quit. Buffalo storming in the first period. Then the injury in the second period to Greg Shepard, who is now in the hospital here in Buffalo for precautionary x-rays, and we hope that Greg will be back for Thursday night. Here's Perreault wheeling across the line. Davy Schultz is on for the first time tonight as Billy Inglis has to pull out everything now. Korab. Schultz in the corner tries to center. It's blocked. Perreault right in front, loose puck, and Blair Chapman, who got the big tying goal for the Penguins. Clears up ice. Boland for Buffalo. He's challenged by Gary McAdam, who got the go-ahead goal for the Penguins. Tied up in the corner, the face-off to the right of Sauvé. A break in the action. The score, Pittsburgh 4, Buffalo 2.
Hon, it's me, huh?
3:34 remaining regulation time. 4-2, Pittsburgh in the lead over the Buffalo Sabres. Malone and Perreault, and cross your fingers, cross your legs, cross your arms, cross your eyes back home in Pennsylvania. Slowly through center, Boland for Buffalo. Tries a Carlisle shot, bouncing on goal. Peter Lee gets it to center ice, and the big rush is on, and Shutt wins the race. Shutt knocked off the puck by Jerry Korab. Korab deep in his own end. Clock is running with just about 3 minutes left in regulation time. Center ice, this is Dudley, and Billy Inglis really going to the reservoir now. Perreault in the corner tried to center for Davy Schultz. The pass is blocked, and Shutt has it out for Peter Lee. Pass off his skate to Jim Schoenfeld. To Perreault, to Schultz. In the far corner, Rick Sealing and Rod Shutt go to work. Shutt failed to clear it out. Here's Schultz behind the net. Davy Schultz out in front. Score! Buffalo is done loose. Rams it home. Done loose on a pretty setup by Davy Schultz.
Well, Schultz went in there and worked for it, got the puck, and just fed it out to Luce, who's standing right in front. Started to come around. Still has control, just backhands it in front, hoping someone's there, and someone is. It's Don Luce, and he scores at 17:26. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride for the final 2:34.
Well, Davy Schultz somewhat evens up the McAdam goal as he set up perfect goal for Don Luce. It's 4-3 now. The Penguins got to keep coming. With 2:20 left in regulation time. Dudley tied up by Rick Keogh. Now Kinderchuk hung high on the boards by Stewart. Keogh jamming against Ramsey. Ramsey bats the puck to Rick Sealing. To Don Luce. Pass went behind him, and Stackhouse failed to clear. Ramsey fires it around the boards. Campbell in the corner trying to move it out. Gets up from Lonsberry. Lonsberry just unloads up ice. This will be an icing call on the Penguins. With 1:53 remaining regulation time. 4-3, Pittsburgh in the lead.
Well, we said those final 6 minutes, 6 seconds were going to be long. This minute 53, 113 seconds is going to be even longer. Pens won't take any chances. They'll just ice it every time they have to.
Capacity crowd and the Buffalo fans playing their part, trying to rally the Sabres. The Penguins hoping to hang on as Malone wins the important draw. Tie up behind the net, out in front. Here's a shot, blocked by Gary McAdam. Reichenbach at the point, but it's cleared to center ice by the Penguins. 1:35 remaining regulation time. McAdam forechecking deep in the Buffalo end. Rick Martin has to come back to help out. And McAdam reps him up. Pass to Savard. Savard has to turn back from the forechecking Malone, and now McAdam partially deflects a pass. Now Rick Martin trying to get it going. Pass too far ahead for Korab. Here's McAdam, but a two-line pass called on the Penguins. A minute 14 remaining. 4-3 Pittsburgh. Hanging on with a minute 14 remaining regulation time. Well, we knew it'd be close, Terry, and I fully expected overtime, but maybe not. Maybe the Penguins can hang on now. When you play 14 games, you never lose to a club. 8 of those games wind up in ties. You know these clubs are just dead even. Kinderchuk to Lonsberry, a shot, the save by Sauvé. Savard coming back for Buffalo. To Robert. Robert can't get by Carlisle. Less than a minute remaining. Regulation time. Rick Keogh reaching, trying to clear, does. Gets the puck to center ice. Savard to Breitenbach to Robert. And an offside pass called on the Buffalo Sabres. The face-off back inside the Buffalo blue line. 48 seconds remaining.
Well, they're just trying to get into the Pittsburgh end now and get a face-off so they can pull Bob Sauvé. He's looking to the bench to Billy Inglis for some instructions. The Sabres have all their firepower out there. Perreault, Guerre, now Dave Schultz is out there. They're just going to try and probably get it into that corner and get the face-off. But the Pens are countering with a lot of experience. Good checkers. Lonsberry, Ferguson on the other wing, and Kinderchuk to take the face-off.
Well, we'll have 2 or 3 big face-offs before regulation time is over, and here's one of them. Kinderchuk and Perreault. And Kinderchuk wins the draw. Perreault bats the puck back to Korab. Korab trying to wheel out of his own end, and Sauvé coming out of the nets. The extra attacker is on for Buffalo. It's Rick Martin. But Kinderchuk has the puck and lays it slowly into the Buffalo end. Schoenfeld turns away from Ferguson. The Buffalo net is open. Here's Rick Martin coming in, trying to go for the goal. It reflects just wide. Stackhouse and Perreault jam up on the backboard.
15 seconds.
Davy Schultz running at Malone, and play is called with 13 seconds left in regulation time. A face-off in the Pittsburgh end. Malone pushing and shoving against Korab, and now Stackhouse steps between them. A dramatic finish in game 1. The empty net to the Buffalo Sabres. Sauvé has been pulled. The extra attacker is on for Buffalo.
And if anybody really cares, in Madison Square Garden, the Rangers lead the Kings 6-1 in the third. Vancouver still on top 1-0 in the third in Philadelphia. And Toronto holding on to a slim 2-1 lead over Atlanta Flames. And the Buffalo Sabres have called a 30-second timeout.
Right after this game is over, Bob Prince will be on the ice for the Capo Stanley Cup Player of the Game. The linesmen trying to separate the combatants you see here down in front of the Pittsburgh bench. Korab and Davy Schultz trying to stir up their team. And Malone just giving it right back to the Buffalo Sabres. The Penguins never led in this game until McAdam scored late in the third period. Then Kinderchuk scored to make it 4-2. But then Luce scored to make it 4-3. Pittsburgh leading by 1 goal with 13 seconds remaining. Regulation time, the face-off upcoming in the Pittsburgh end. The man of the hour, Denny Herod. Perhaps 1 or 2 more big saves. Denny, do you still got anything left? Denny was shaken up late in the second period when he took a shot right on the shoulder, but Denny has come back strong. The Penguins with pride, as they've done all season long, despite the injuries, despite being behind tonight. They're still coming on and leading 4-3, 13 seconds remaining. Paul Martha was never so nervous in his life. More pressure than he ever felt in his life. Kinderchuk moving in for this big face-off against Perreault. Everybody up for Buffalo. The net is open in the Buffalo end. The extra attacker is on for the Sabres. Buffalo controls. Rick Martin tees it up, fires, it's blocked, loose puck, and play is called. Play is called. The puck was still in play, but Dave Newell called the play.
Well, at least the faceoff will come outside, Jim, because the Sabres stopped it inside. A pretty quick whistle there, but Newell was way in the corner, and the play was out by the blue line. 8 seconds left in the regulation third period.
Denny Herron breathes a sigh of relief. The faceoff, 40 feet out farther from the faceoff circle to the right of him. It's outside the blue line. Kinderchuk and Perreault. And Orest Kinderchuk wins the draw, and the Penguins bat the puck off ice. Touching up Korab, 2 seconds left. And the faceoff will come back deep in the Pittsburgh end. I think maybe Stackhouse would like to have that one back, Terry.
Oh, it's tough to say. There's only one play. You just want to keep it away from your own end. He wasn't really trying to score just as much as keep it out of danger. Now Kinderchuk for the biggest draw of the season.
4-3, Pittsburgh in the lead, 2 seconds left. All Buffalo can do is win a clean draw, and Rick Martin undoubtedly will be the trigger man. Rick Martin is set up. Schoenfeld and Korab, the 2 biggest guys for Buffalo, will clear out and hope that they can win it, but Kinderchuk wins the draw. The game is over, and the Penguins win game number 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Buffalo Sabres. And look at the Penguins swarming from the bench to congratulate the #1 star of the game, Denny Herron, who will be talking to Bob Prince momentarily. Denny Herron, undoubtedly the man of the hour tonight for the Penguins. As he holds off the Buffalo Sabres, Johnny Wilson out there congratulating Denny. 4-3, the final score. Pittsburgh wins game 1.
Well, Johnny's going to remember this because this is his first game in the Stanley Cup playoffs as a coach, and what a big win. Opening on the road, we said all along home ice wasn't going to be that much of a difference, and it's going to be the opening game is the key game. We're going to be back there in Pittsburgh Thursday night, and we say the final score, the Pens 4, the Sabres 3. We'll be back with Bob Prince and Denny Herron right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, down here on the ice, #1 star of the game. Is there any doubt about it? Dennis Herron. Congratulations. This is the big game. In any 2 out of 3, you got to get the first one, Dennis.
Yeah, that's really sure. If it's we don't get a home advantage, and it's very, very hard, and the guys play very, very well. Like we skate a lot, and like we play super in the second and third period.
There's no doubt about it that for a while there, it looked like Buffalo was just going to the body and just taking the game right away from us, Dennis.
Yeah, like I think their plan was to check us right away, and just like they have big guys, big defensemen, and they had us pretty good at the first period, second period. But the guys took the check pretty good, and we came back with a win.
Well, you did. You know, I think one of the great saves, too, was Savard. He had a clean breakaway on you, and you came out to stop him, and that was a real key play early in the ballgame.
Yeah, like breakaway, you have to be careful all the time. It's a 50-50 chance, and I tried to play him the best I can, and I was lucky in stopping.
I just talked to Baz Baston a moment ago. For our fans looking in, Dennis, you're the Capitals' #1 star of the game, not only here in Buffalo, but also on our telecast here tonight. I just found out that they've sent Greg Shepard to the hospital to check on his cheekbone. We're not going to theorize, but he did take a pretty good smash up against the boards, and they're checking to see whether or not, hopefully, it's not fractured.
Yeah, like Greg went to the hospital between second and third period. Was a pretty cheap shot. Like Korab is big, and Greg was just beside the board, and he just cross-checked him, and he hit, I think, his face just beside the board, and he hit his cheekbone, and I hope everything is all right because we need him very much.
Well, we certainly do. You know, one thing, we all felt up in the booth, Paul, Martha, and Terry, and Jim, and every one of us, that the officiating was letting Buffalo take these long shots. They should have stopped it earlier in the game, and it's too late by the time they got to Shepard.
Yeah, like I think the referee let the thing go in the first period. Like they were grabbing us, and we were grabbing them, and they gave us a cheap shot, and like it was pretty hard. But you have to be careful because you never know when they're going to call it, and those referees, they don't know. Like, it's a judgment, and you have to be careful with them.
One quick, when Boland got that first goal against us, it looked to me as though Colin Campbell accidentally screened you on that.
Yeah,
You
like,
never saw it.
Colin was there, and like he wanted to stop the shot, and I didn't see it. It wasn't right in front of me. But after that, he knew his job, and I knew mine, and we're going along pretty good, and was no trouble for the second and third period.
I guess you talked to him just a little bit.
Yeah, I talked to him.
I got that impression. We all did. You know, now this is 11 games. You've had 7 ties and 4 victories. They've not beaten you since 1976-77 season. You got a real hector going on this Buffalo club. You got them going, Denny. Now keep it up when we get back into Pittsburgh.
I'm going to try my best, Bob, and I hope we'll keep playing the way we do.
Well, I know you will. Here's a lovely gift certificate from Capples for being our star. The second one for you. We'd love very much to just keep handing out. Dennis, congratulations on a magnificent contest.
Thank you very much, Bobby.
Dennis Herron, ladies and gentlemen, #1 star of the game. It is so important, as you know, to get away with the wicket and to get going. And now I'm going to send you back upstairs to 2 of my very happy partners, Jim and Terry, to wrap it up.
Thank you, Bob Prince, and congratulations to Denny Herron, star of the game. And Terry, no doubt about it, Denny Herron held them off early. The Penguins just stuck to the hard work, which got them here to the playoffs and got them win #1 in this best-of-3.
Well, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. At the top of the show, we said the difference was going